One of the most entertaining aspects of the game in recent times are the mascots. And we're lucky enough to have three of the best mascots from the NBA right here in Australia for the NBA Jam Session.
The definition of a mascot, a person or thing that brings good luck. In the world of professional basketball, mascots are much more than that. They are the entertainers. They take to the floor when the crowd needs a lift, and nobody does it better than these three. Meet Rocky, Boomer, and Squatch. In the good old US of A, they are simply the best when it comes to exciting the crowds, and they're down under as part of the NBA Jam Session. At the Denver Nuggets, Rocky is the legend of the lane. Boomer is the panther that prances the court at the Indiana Pacers. And of course, the hair-raising Squatch hails from the Seattle Supersonics. At Brisbane, as is the case wherever they perform, the mascots win the hearts of all the fans, whether it be death-defying descents from a stadium roof, the most outrageous dunks ever witnessed, or captivating the audience with their sensational stunts. The kings of clown know how to put on a show. It just doesn't get any better than this. And the mascots we're seeing here are the very same mascots who appear game night in the NBA.
These guys are full-time mascots. It's not, we don't pull someone off the street and put him in a costume different nights of the week. These people, for example, Rocky is Rocky. He's Rocky 5 nights a week, midweek and weekends as well. So they work particularly hard. They train regularly like the players do every day of the week.
So you want to be a mascot? Well, the job is a little more difficult than it looks. Admittedly, you get to fly around the world. You get to hear the screams of thousands of fans just crying out for more. And best of all, you can make an absolute fool of yourself and nobody will ever know who you are. Being a mascot is an art form of its very own, and these guys take it very seriously.
I mean, they're required to do not only tumbling to dunking to acting to, they just got to have a good character and be able to present something funny to the crowd and be able to entertain the crowd for the game. I mean, they're in themselves stars of the game, and maybe not the players level, but they are stars and people come out to see the mascots.
Look out, Australia. There is an invasion of foreign beasts, and there's just no stopping them. Last winter, the heroes of the NBA fired up fans in Australia with some dynamic performances. Watch out, it's returning. It's the NBA, up close and personal. It's the biggest names in the world rubbing shoulders with those who idolize them. It's NBA Jam Session. This year, it's coming to Perth, September 7th and 8th, and to Adelaide, September 14th and 15th.
G'day, mate. G'day, mate. G'day, mate.
And once again, there's no doubting the status of the superstars attending. Houston Rockets center, an 11-time All-Star and member of the Dream Team, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Listen into a team. He goes!
He's Rockets' teammate and the first player ever to compete in both the three-point shootout and the slam dunk competition at the All-Star weekend. Kenny Smith.
Kept it alive. Robert Ory to Kenny Smith. Yes!
The NBA Rookie of the Year from the Dallas Mavericks, Jason Kidd.
There he goes. Strong in the hoop and beats Miller.
The leading scorer with the Portland Trail Blazers, Cliff Robinson.
On the floor in a hurry is Robinson.
And the man who played a key role in getting the Seattle Supersonics into the NBA Finals, Hersey Hawkins.
Look at it. Send it to Hawk out of the corner. He'll square. Bomb and hit a three. Hersey Hawkins. Oh, mercy, Hersey.
We worked very hard to bring some real premier players, some showcase players here to Australia. where again, as the teams are not playing here on a regular basis, it's a way to make the game, we hope, more accessible to folks and the players more accessible to the fans here in Australia and throughout the country.
And for pure fun and enjoyment, the team mascots. So if you ever wanted to match it with the pros, this is your chance, just like thousands of fans have already done. It's hands-on experience in the one-on-one challenge. Test the sweetness of your shot in the long-range shootout. Bring along your camera and get your photo taken in an NBA locker room. How much taller do you really have to grow? And what about that vertical leap? Is yours any good? And if you're having trouble filling the shoes of your heroes, or even getting a grip on the ball, maybe you fancy yourself as a commentator.
A 3-pointer or a 2-pointer. We never know. The Suns probably are gonna lose.
NBA Jam Session. Real-life, interactive entertainment.
It'll be a huge ask playing in the NBA against some of the big names and the big frames of world sport. One man in particular is ex-MVP and a member of the world champions, the Houston Rockets, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Time running out on the New York Knicks. The Houston Rockets are the 1993-94 NBA champions. Hakeem Olajuwon will wear an NBA championship ring for the very first time.
First time around was very special because I've been to the finals twice in college, once in the pros, and 10 years later, to finally victorious and once in a lifetime. And that was the first championship for the old city of Houston. That was the first time any sports to have won a national championship.
The Houston Rockets, the third team in NBA history to come back after being down 3-2 by winning games 6 and 7 at home.
It's an experience, there's no way I can describe that kind of feeling and experience for the old city, for the spirit. It was beautiful.
The ultimate for any basketballer anywhere in the world, an NBA championship, and they had to search the world for Hakeem Olajuwon. He was born in the tiny African nation Nigeria, has 4 brothers and a sister who all still live in Lagos. And as a kid, basketball was the furthest thing from his mind.
Well, I played all different type of sports. The primary sport that I played when I was growing up was soccer. Then team handball, volleyball. Basketball was the last game I picked up.
The Rockets picked up Olajuwon in the first round of the 1984 draft. The side made the playoffs, and Olajuwon finished second to Michael Jordan in the Rookie of the Year poll. The next year, the Rockets made the NBA Finals, and Olajuwon was holding his own against one of the greats, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Well, we've seen Hakeem make this spin move on the other side of the floor. That is just a lightning quick catch-and-go move.
The Rockets then slipped a while, but 9 years after signing, Olajuwon began to feel something special was about to happen.
We lost in the second round, but that team, we were good enough to go all the way, even though we lost to a competitive team. So the following year, you can see it from the beginning in camp that this team wanted to go somewhere. The commitment from the beginning of the season carried over throughout the whole season.
Despite his success and dominance in the NBA, Hakeem Olajuwon still has mountains to climb.
Well, my goal is just to maximize my career, go out, just to go to camp in shape, in condition, and set the goal to win the championship and give it my best and make it fun.
And now let's get a little parochial. Firstly, his thoughts on the Boomers.
They understand the game. They play intelligent basketball, very physical. And they played well in the Olympics. As you know, they beat Croatia. Unfortunately, they have to play the Dream Team. But the players on the Dream Team respect the players because they know they're very physical.
And what about Australia's newest NBA player, that feisty little fellow, Shane Heal?
Well, he demonstrated that he can play in the league. He shot the ball so well. He has the attitude of a point guard, a leader, the leadership role. So that's what it's going to take to survive, in the post.
The name Olajuwon translates to always being on top, but it's not by accident, and he's pretty keen to get that message across.
You have to stress the education, and also to listen to their parents and their teacher, and to try to be a good citizen. I know everybody likes to play sports and basketball. That's secondary, but they have to take care of school first, then they can play.
At the best games in the best league in the land. This is your hot chance to be UTAG's guest at the game of your choice in the capital city of your choice. Free flights, free accommodation, free limousines and VIP tickets. All you have to do is write to Airtime, a local travel agent, UTAG,
Marty McLean, the long three-pointer, and there we go.
Tigers on the break. Good start. There weren't too many surprises in the Tigers-Bullets match. Bradkey with a tennis lob for Copeland. Leroy Loggins with a trademark reverse layup to get things started. And Andrew Gaze, always with something special.
Oh, Gaze! Oh, sensational Andrew Gaze!
The Tigers jumped out to a 9-point lead early on their way to a 7th successive win. But they had to fight for it, the Bullets coming back at them every time. And when Andrew Goodwin hit this three, scores were again level. In the second half, Copeland helped push the margin back out to 10.
Nothing but net for Copeland.
And the Bullets suffered a cruel blow when Leroy Loggins again hurt his back. And when Gaze set up this trademark play, the Tigers consolidated top spot on the ladder. Gaze with a game-high 36 points and pretty happy to be leading the comp.
It's dropped in. How did that happen?
Yeah, we're playing well. It's good to be on top of the ladder, and I think that generates some confidence. And we get out on the court in a crisis like this, a little less pressure on you when you're 3 games clear on top of the ladder.
The Giants wore down a plucky Devils side in Hobart. They led all night to win 112 to 106, but never really shook off the home side. Craig Adams showing the fight that still lives within the Devils. Paul Maley led the Giants scoring with 22 points. Jerome Scott had 23 for the Tassie Devils. But there was plenty of feeling in this match. Roberts not impressed with Jensen and comes off second best with the Reds.
And there is an intentional unsportsmanlike foul call.
And Darren Smith made his point when he dunked all over Paul Reed. Despite leading by 16 points in the third quarter, the Giants eventually get home by 6. At the Snake Pit, Robert Rose was the man for Canberra early, here doing it all by himself. But he was also doing the team thing.
Robert Rose drives, passes out, Coleman.
Rose hit 26 points as the Cannons led the Hawks just about all night. But the Hawks were no easy beats and showed they can strut their stuff with the best of them.
Alley-oop pass into Matt Zorner.
Andre Lafleur kept the Hawks in the hunt, hitting 26 points. And Marcus Timmins made the margin just 7 points at half-time. But down the stretch, the Cannons had too much class. Darnell Mee forcing the turnover and going all the way for the one-hand dunk. And Brendan Mann hit 14 points in the last 3 minutes to give Canberra a 121-111 win.
I struggled with my threes early in the game, but I thought keep shooting anyway. I feel confident with my three-point shot, but yeah, they definitely felt good when I went down.
The Kings haven't beaten Adelaide in 3 years, and that record stands. John Riley doing his best to keep the wood on Sydney.
Hot so far. He's got the hand. He's 3 from 3. He has 8 points already in the game.
He was also combining well in the backcourt with Brett Maher, who hit a game-high 30 points. The Kings certainly weren't paranoid about playing at the powerhouse. They led by 6 points at half-time as Whitehead hit the 3. Bolden was inspirational with 29 points. Too often, though, they allowed the 36ers uncontested shots from the perimeter. And while they kept Leon Trimmingham fairly quiet, this was big. But with Shane Hill out suspended, the Kings' offensive power was way down. Apart from Bolden, no one else really stepped up. Thomas hitting just 11 points. Adelaide winning 93-88 to put pressure on a top 4 spot. Another 5 games tonight to complete the weekend round in the NBL. Giants chasing a second win as they head back to Melbourne to play the Magic. Geelong hosts the Bullets at the Arena. Newcastle is at home to a very confident Canberra. The Gold Coast Rollers will have the